A very good morning, Zimbabwe, and welcome to Africa and Beyond the Television Network, where we continue to take a look on what's happening in the nation of Zimbabwe without fear, without favor. And at this point in time, we are looking at the meeting which was chaired by President Emerson Mnangagwa in a pre-kept farm that is around Midlands province. And it's something which is very, very important at this point in time for us to look upon and understand what is really happening, what is really transpiring, and what is the motivation of such an event to happen. So what is important at this point in time is to note that Zanu PF is now divided 100%. We have now seen several factions emerging. And one of the key issues is to note that President Emerson Mnangagwa is now running a parallel structure to the one of the original Zanu PF. So he's now running almost two structures. He's heading Zanu PF as a party itself, and is heading another parallel structure. And let us take a look into this video.
Loyalty that you what you drive voluntarily. Yes. Nekuti utungamiri hwepatina kuti muri munhu mutapa honai kana vese vari kupinda maelections vari kutokoperawo maafireti saka sakana Trump Republicans havanzotora kana vachinge vakatsiwa nevanhu vatema asi takanzwa kuti next for Trump vatora kuna munhu mutapa mtondo waMnangagwa chigaro chaMnangagwa loyalty high command yaMnangagwa viva Zanu PF viva corruption. Luta continua. Mtondo wa Mnangagwa. Basi na mandu.
So it's very interesting to see such things happening. And this is a true testimony that Emerson Mnangagwa has set up his own secondary structures. And these structures are actually challenging the original structures of Zanu PF, which means Vana Obetimpofu and the team, all of them, they no longer control what happens within Zanu PF, because this secondary structure is the one which then comes and they work with those aligned to Emerson Mnangagwa within the Zanu PF structures. And this is where decisions are made. So for those who are taking this as a joke, you understand one day that this is a very deadly strategy which is being used right here. He conducts meetings with his own structures right there. Then when he comes with the resolutions made from those structures, they come and impose them using some proxies who do not attend these meetings, but are loyal to Emerson Mnangagwa. And their agenda and their goal is to make sure that they push this to happen. So that is something which is very, very important, and something which we need to take note of, and we can't ignore at all. So very interesting moments ahead in the nation of Zimbabwe, and the Zanu PF politics is tending to become something else. And we are likely going to see this explode. This 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027, that is a very long period of time, which means if you can count, it's very difficult to end next year without something happening. It's very, very difficult to complete 2025. Very difficult. We talked about September, October, being the explosive months in Zanu PF. It has happened. There have been explosive. Come to November, things are out of hand. And going into the 2025 year, then we are expecting to see more fireworks. We are expecting to see more resistance. But I will reiterate this. As far as I'm concerned, I have looked at Vice President Chiwenga. Yes, he is powerful. He does have some backings. But personally, I do not believe that he is capable to unseat Emerson Mnangagwa. That is my own belief, which means they will need to rely more on the generals. But it seems as if the generals themselves, they are divided. We have almost 3, if not 4, camps. So you could actually see that the majority of the generals or of the securocrats, they no longer trust Mnangagwa, they no longer trust Zanu, they no longer trust Chinage, because the majority of them are non-war liberators or non-liberation war collaborators or whatever. So this is a new generation of people who are now demanding something new, who have lived throughout their lives with nothing. Imagine that somebody who joined the military 20 years ago, he has nothing at this point in time to show. Kana asina kwenda ku top echelons, asina kuba, they have nothing to show, which means they really want to match the standards of living. They want to be able to build their own houses, to drive nice cars. They want to be able to send their kids to school. These are the majority. So if you look at them, they want change. These are people who are 100% in need of change. So things are changing. Shifts are coming. And, in as much as you eliminate those top echelon commanders, you are leaving yourself vulnerable. Yes, it seems as if you are trying to protect yourself or to shield yourself, but you are also leaving yourself more vulnerable than before. So VP Chiwenga, in my own view, it's likely going to stand in with Mnangagwa at the end, or to pretend to stand with Mnangagwa at the end, and will then allow some other factions to take over and control the political situation. So that is the reason why I always talk about the power makers. If we talk about the power makers, the majority are on the other side. And these people, the two of them, Mnangagwa and Chiwenga, they've been left with just a handful of generals who are supporting them. If you go on to the lower ranked soldiers, they don't have support there. Go to the police, the same also applies. Don't look at that thing called Wana Support Unit. Those are just a few who have been indoctrinated with the 2030 Anengachipo, with the oppressors to oppress people. The majority of the police officers, the CIOs, the military, they no longer trust this leadership, and they definitely want change, and they know the truth about how these people manipulate elections and events, and they want that to end. Also, if you go to the judiciary, the same applies. Only the top echelon judges are in support of this Mnangagwa and the secretariat maybe of the judiciary. But the majority and the rest, they are actually working on something else. They are anti Emerson Mnangagwa, and they want things to change. So when you see this, when we blame the judiciary, don't think that everyone. Don't look at those few magistrates who are being used. Don't look at those few judges who are being used. For them not assigning cases to other different magistrates and judges, it's simply a sign that they don't trust them. Also, it also applies to the prosecution, etc. So change is coming, and change is definite in the nation of Zimbabwe. And these are signs. What we have seen so far in Kwekwe, it's a sign of Zanu PF collapsing. How do you collapse Zanu PF? You set up parallel structures. You start to do your own things up until you make the real Zanu PF comrades disgruntled. Once you have made them disgruntled, then they will let you down. They will let the party collapse. This is where we are going. So I just want to thank Glot says these are foolish supporters of Zanu PF will wake up too late to see that they've nested a dragon that will tend to devour and tear them. Mnangagwa is a friend to his evil appetite only. So thank you very much, Glocha, for this view, and the Gogo. Thank you very much for coming, Gogo Mawire. A very good morning. So it's very interesting to see Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa has set up parallel structures, and we will be watching to see how these parallel structures are going to outmaneuver each other. So very sad situation, but very interesting moments ahead as we continue to experience a period of turbulence in the nation of Zimbabwe. Let us continue to pray. Let us continue to work together and make sure that we support Advocate Nelson Chamisa. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming, and thank you very much for your time.